Dire team ban. Radiant team Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. 10 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. 5 seconds remaining. 10 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. 5 seconds. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Lich.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here for the playoff series between IG and Team Aster. Of course, MVP different fight. John, as you can see, the draft has already started between these two. Snuck by being the first pick up IG, Aster go for Lich. Before we go into the draft, I have to ask you, how do you feel right now?
I'm feeling great, Mike. Of course, IG, they played excellently in those groups. Number one in their groups, 3-1 series and 1-1 series. Funny enough, Team Gaming, who had played at tiebreaker, unless they're here now, they're going up against Aster now. Aster had a fairly good run in their group as well. Not as clean cut though in comparison to IG. I believe Aster did actually draw out 3 series and only won 1 series outright. So it's a bit of a different track record there from Group B. It's for their number 2 spot. I believe eHome on number 2 for Group A won 3 series and dropped 1 series. So it's a very different story there. Still, we'll see how Aster does compare here as the draft is going by fairly fast. Snapfire, Ogre Magi coming out for IG. And we have seen that Snapfire do a lot of work for a lot of teams. IG, they're one of those teams that can definitely run this here quite well. With the Ogre Magi, that early aggression at any of these lanes they go to can pump out is just going to be great. The Ogre Magi is going to allow a pick of some sort of physical core as well that just wants to right click quite nicely. And of course, the Ogre Magi can really just force people out of lane just by standing and waiting. You can't really trade too well against an Ogre. Team Aster, they've got a more standard opening. Lich Rubik coming out for them. Very popular, that Lich. We have seen time and time again just kind of bullying out people in lane. The Chain Frost used right still does a lot of work, and of course that Rubik is potent. We have seen a lot of combinations for that Rubik, particularly the Slaughter. I think is one of the more popular laning partners for that Rubik. We'll see whether or not Aster does pick up, of course, a lot of spells to steal here as well. Ogre Magic is probably not as interesting, although all of his spells are kind of useful. But Snapfire is definitely something Rubik will enjoy, especially that cookie. I think that's going to be the big one, besides the kisses, which are fairly easy to steal.
Okay, so it's easy to steal, but the problem is the distance, right? Like trying to get in range to try and steal that kisses ability can be a little bit tough for Rubik, depending on the positioning, of course. Of course, I should mention, by the way, we are waiting for these bans to come up. Between RMG and EHO. If you were interested in that game, Gareth is casting right now on stream B. So that's ESL_Bo3B. For those of you who wanted to watch that game instead of this one. Otherwise, I think this would be fantastic. You do see the Arc Water ban, and that brings a little bit of joy to my heart. Seeing that hero getting banned, and I do have that hero ban. But IG, do you really want to make my game?
Hoping we see Invoker come out from IG, honestly. Like, we haven't seen that emo Invoker in a while. I love seeing Emo play that hero. It's one of his best heroes. And I'd argue he's one of the best Invokers. Just one of, you know. It's very hard to pinpoint who's the best. He's certainly up there. And it is something IG plays around fantastically. So, if they want to set themselves up here for the best of 3, you know, secure themselves a good start, I'd say go for the Invoker. I like that ban out though. Slaughter banned out by IG. Again, the most typical lane partner of that Rubik. Just easy follow-up, easy way to stuns in the lane phase, and can be very hard to deal with. So, really good ban out from IG so far.
I agree. I do love what I'm seeing from IG, of course. Someone that wasn't watching the past 2 days, IG has really been peaking in performance. Just pushing some things that they come by. Well, LC will pick up for the side, which begs the question, right? We would love to see that Skyround combination with the LC. Of course, they have got 2 supports on the side of IG. I can't imagine the Snapfire not being a support now. The LC should be in the offlane. Do you think they have full damage with the 2 supports in the LC without that Skyround?
I reckon you do. Snapfire does a lot of damage on her own. So if you wanted to really extend the kisses for that, you could as well. And that is still a way to clear out that will when the kisses are a bit of a longer cooldown though, so you want to be a bit more conservative with that. Not going to keep up as much as a Sky would. Still plenty of potency there coming out from the combination. I believe just having a Snapfire and LC does allow the LC to just get that easier jump in. If it's required to get the worlds off, it's highly potent. I would have preferred the Sky, you know, just like the Sky would have been a bit better if you're going to run this aggression. So, Snapfire can get the job done. Ogre Magic can help you with the damage as well, and speed for like still going to pretty much. It's not a very hard thing to pull off. Aster, to respond with Morphling. So now you've got that Morphling, you've got that Rubik. You like pointing this out all the time. So many spells to just steal. Just from these 2 heroes, Rubik, only 1 spell to steal every single time. Morphling can pick everything besides the ult, of course. So a lot of utility that can pass on to our Morph here and our Rubik. So Aster have a lot of leeway out of this one.
I do like the monkey can pick up as well here. I do very strong pick. Of course, they have the Morphling side of Aster. Generally speaking, does want to go to that mid to late game before he gets involved. Monkey King loves going from number 1. Jingu Mastery is just a very potent kind of ability to have. I've got to say, this IG draft looking very scary. Aster, I wonder what you pick up now to try and contest the pace that IG is going to put on Aster with this draft.
Yeah, they've got to get something that can buy them that space. Morphling, as you mentioned, just takes a while to get online. We have seen Morphlings fall behind and trying to play catch-up. It's never a pretty picture for Morphling, especially with the fast-paced lineup IG does have set up. So I'm looking to see something a bit more pro-based for Aster coming out. Perhaps an offlaner that's just pretty disruptive. Would have been nice to get Again, Slaughter would have been perfect. They did ban that out. The Aster would have been perfect as well. That banned out. Yes, you could go for something like the Centaur. That still works pretty well with Rubik. Still a lot of damage that could fly out there. And that does give you an escape from the fight that IG would want to bring out. They don't have the hardest lockdown in the world here, IG. So you can maximum that stampede to disengage and engage, punish. I think there's still a lot of value in it if they offer. With highly mobile here, that's one way to scout out the Monkey King. That's one way to give yourself that momentum. Puck, of course, not requiring too much farm to get a lot of stuff done for you. Aster is, trying to fix up your draft, and I think decent enough response. You can easily punish the Monkey King with Tira as well, as that magic damage is not very too much for the armor Monkey King can pick up in the Wukong's command.
Very true. Last pick up there from Aster. Still to go for other side. Love to see the partner band coming up from the side is they're seeing Monkey. They hate Pug with a passion. That is not going to be available for Aster if you want to run in the mid or off lane. Aster, one band for them. This is that part of the draft we start talking about Emo's pick. We've seen him play Storm a lot throughout these qualifiers. It's not a free Storm game, it's a silence and of course a big lift, but it could be valuable. However, you mentioned the Invoker. I personally think it fits.
I think it fits. Sunstrike Duel. Sunstrike Duel. That's all you need. Alacrity and the Monkey King. Alacrity and Legion Commander. It's pretty darn good. Just from those else. Because you have the Ogre Magi. So the Alacrity's value just shoots up that much. Right? If you're just for base combinations like that, that's gonna work. Gives you great team fight as well. The laning phase against Puck is gonna be Puck. Can be a bit wonky if Aster does put that down mid. He's gonna have to walk himself, but this is he's turned certain on their head when we watch this guy play that in over. So it's a viable pick. Does feel just a slightly bit too greedy, and of course the Monkey King's there anyway. Aster does pick up the Centaur to close it out. They have that laning partner with a Rubik. Got their Puck down mid. IG Radeon closest. Monkey King is there. It could still be a safe thing Monkey if they're not going to run it down mid, and it could still pick here. We'll find out. I think Aster has a pretty good draft to respond to the aggression IG has. We mentioned the Centaur potentially acting as your engage disengage very well. You don't really have the hardest piece of AoE control coming out from IG, and the Centaur will punish that. You have the Puck to scout the Monkey King and to close the gap early on. You're going to be very potent to jump into that IG. They've got to find something to tie this up. I still think the Invoker is great. You just put that Monkey King safe, or it's a hard lane against the Centaur. But you've got that pull for the duel, you can kind of escalate. Mid lane matchup could be wonky though, but he has played tough matchups before.
He has. IG. Tough decision to make. You already mentioned Aster's draft is going into IG. Is it gonna get traded with an Invoker? We're gonna see what's it up to. Does he just go ruthlessly to Storm? Which, it doesn't a great idea, but he told us 20 seconds of reserve time is left for IG. Of course, the winner of this series does make it to the major. It's a massive deal for both these teams. They don't really pop up in the major very often, let alone any DPC events. They are both regulars, those qualifiers these teams. Love to get through even as the dudes will come. But here we don't see Emo play very often.
No.
Would do a great job though, nonetheless.
Interesting pick for IG to close out. We were talking about something to keep the pace up. It looks like they actually want to perhaps have a insurance for that late game, and look at that. We have the Ogre Magi Arcana from Ollie. Look at them showing off. Look crazy. You have the Arcana on our LT as well. Only Fly with the Arcana in the Monkey King, or is that the Arcana? Wait, that is on it. Okay, all the Arcanas up and running for IG. Good win. That's it. They've got the money.
Cost.
Is there? No, there's no Arcana for Snap.
Why not?
Because there's none.
Valve.
Mars, man. We need Mars. A God of War. Arcana as well. Like, he came out. Where's his Arcana? Where's his love?
Could you imagine if Master and Arcana, like, whenever he gets drafted, he takes up the whole screen? What? Could you imagine what the Arcana would do?
Oh, yeah.
Build a wall in front of the whole that's Arcana.
Oh, I know a lot of people in Southern Border like that, but that would be very interesting indeed. I'm sure JT would like that. Remember his Mars play? Playing with that board? He loves that spell. It's his favorite spell. Absolutely. So, going back to the actual draft, Emo closing out with that Medusa. It's gonna be interesting to see how the pace of the Medusa matches up against STC's Morph. Right? Like, these are the two farm-heavy heroes. Everyone else probably just gonna be running around making space for these two. And whoever gets shut down most is probably just gonna need one shafted. Of course, Medusa can catch up in the jungle much faster. It's just the nature of that hero. We have seen it in the last best of one of that top breaker. You give Medusa enough space to farm up, she will farm up and get big. And that could cause issues for Aster, as a Morphling has a harder time playing catch up. She's not as fast in the jungle, not as efficient with time spent there, so it's a bit of a saving grace for IG in case that laning phase just goes a bit bad.
Certainly. So just a quick pause coming up between these two teams. The tip coming out already there. So give it straight back to him. Former teammates here between Karka and AC. Roll down. Simpler back.
Much simpler. Of course, these are different times now, and should be interesting to see just how Aster shapes up here. Well, you've got so many big names here, like Chuan, Bo3, and they really want to be in DPC. The playing field's just been so rough. Fortunately, right after this Bo3, the winner will go and go straight to the majors. The loser does get to play another best of 3 to decide the third qualified team. So there is still a chance after this. There is one more Bo3 on the quote-unquote lower bracket, if you want to call it that, for the third qualifier spot. But you'd rather just go straight in. You know, you don't want to play two best of 3s. You don't want to take the chance, right? And you just want to get in there as best as possible.
Vega Arcana is very scary. Look at that mount.
Like, you go in showcase view and just look side by side with that lizard and chicken. Well, the lizard from that bar and chicken. That lizard's so adorable. Like, that chicken just dirty. That's what makes the noise in my neighbor's house. That's it. That's why sometimes you hear a rooster going off. Because they've got Oregon Magi's chicken there or something.
Remember when Dota was just like, you know, you had basic abilities like stun and something to buff you up. Now it's like Snapfire comes out, she can shoot 400 magic damage missile out of the void. Cookies at people.
Hey, the game changes. I mean, look at Monkey. You know, that's a guy that just turns into stuff. Like right now, he's a courier. Like that.
With 380 movement speed.
Yeah.
always a nice little bit of balance. Start off the game.
It used to be worse. Remember when Monkey Kings used to run down the tier 3s? So scouting out early on, that when you only had one courier, so that early courier sniping just boom, gone.
It was always the support fault as well. If they lost that courier, it starts spamming the supports like, why do you use the courier? This is the mid S. You use the courier.
Sounds like
30 seconds.
yeah. It sounds like you're personally affected by that.
Maybe I was. Maybe I wasn't. I was.
Still, we do see that outpost trade we're used to seeing, so just gonna trade outpost there, and it should be a fairly even bounty room trade. The wards coming out from IG are prioritizing that jungle, so they want to watch the rotations on that dire side jungle, which is interesting. I would expect Aster to drop wards like that, right? To keep an eye on Emo's Medusa. But it looks like they really just want to give Emo a good time on mid, allowing any sort of sneaky rotations to come out, so they're gonna have to commit smoke to really catch Emo out here.
yeah, like you said, he should be perfectly fine in this mid lane. I mean, even if you do keep the smoke, like you'd need to put earlier. Like you've already mentioned, though, he has so much vision for at least the first 6 minutes. But Chuan be the easiest lane in the world for this pop. Of course, once the Mystic Snakes get started, it's a very frustrating. Of course, you can phase shift it off, but you don't always have phase shift available. Top lane though, Boka. Very low on glitch already. Kaka being very aggressive with the little shredder, and that's something we haven't seen from Snapfires over the past couple days, John. They, generally speaking, tend to level up the cookie and the Scatter Blast. This time around though, Kaka level 1 wants the little shredder.
Has been killed.
Ooh. I think it's down to Boboka's gonna go for 2 couriers.
Has been killed.
Just like that, 2 couriers going to Boboka. A nice amount of gold going out there, and of course that he can in this top lane. Not long though, it's just a minute down. So just a minute without ferrying anything. Not the most, biggest loss in the world, but still kind of an annoyance.
Nice little play. So back to the little shredder. Like you are able to do a lot of harassment just by spamming that beginning phase. As you can see, Kaka will use Boboka to cop a lot of damage.
Yeah,
it's very frustrating.
Gonna cause issues for our ledge. Boboka, he's not gonna be able to soak up as much as he'd expect. Of course, Kaka's doing the same thing, but this does allow Corpse to farm freely, and JT is enjoying that time. SCCC, just playing conservatively. The spam from the LC can hurt over time, so it's something you do have to watch out for.
Back to that mid lane. One currently head in terms of sits on the block, finds himself regen room. Couldn't get in range to pick it up, and he was a little bit afraid that Tuan would initiate if he had down the bottom lane. The one thing we haven't looked at yet, you'll see Firefly basically pre-farming now on the Monkey King. They've been able to shut him down with the Ollie just in case against XX Fade. Of course, Fade on the Ruby. You want to be very careful of this man because he is a very, very potent Ruby player.
Definitely. We've seen him do a lot of work with that here before. I'm surprised we aren't seeing that aggression early on. Like the lift into the Hoop Stomp with retaliate damage would be strong, and they do it now.
It's coming in, retaliate up by XXS. Firefly will lose most of his HP, but Ollie is there. Off. Getting any more damage out of that Monkey King. But like I mentioned, that combination is very, very scary, and it is also very, very simple.
Yeah, it's not too costly mana, doesn't take too long to cooldowns. I do have to give props to Ollie there. The body block's just buying enough space for Fly to pull back. They do drop his salve though. He's not going to work too much. He's a Monkey King. He's got Jingu if he needs to. You're not going to be able to shove this guy completely out of the lane just like that. But a couple more tries should do it. Like level 3 is pretty potent for this duo.
He's got lift. He's just going to Firefly to be out of position before he tries for it. But Boka, meanwhile, big Kaka. Not sure what Kaka did for that, but the mess. Boka will wait for it as Kaka looks to provide more harassment out. Of course, JT on the LC, not slow at all, having a fantastic ball time. 20 last hits and 8 knives on that major commander. Strip's falling slightly behind, but it's to be expected. The LC can just knife so easily, and there's no way to kill this guy in the lane. He'll just sustain unless you get a support rotation to make 3v2.
And by and of course that doesn't, you're sacrificing your bot lane for that. And XXS, he's tanky centaur, but a Monkey King does enjoy trading like that. If you play your card right, you can trade favorably, although Ollie is copying a fair bit of damage, still gonna be okay. We aren't seeing them commit for that combination once more. In fact, XXS has not leveled the skill yet for his level 3, so they're just holding out here, trying to play it safe.
I guess he's just waiting to see if he does need double edge. Do go for it. Fade. Actually, looking very good, but he's just more agitated to Tango. Salve as well. Still no first blood. We're about to hit that 5-minute mark. Both teams getting somewhat close to a first blood, not overextending. Both is paying a lot of respect to each other. After all.
Yeah, just much more conservative than you'd expect. course, both sides are going to be happy to farm up. In particular, Emo is going to be happy his lane is just not being contested. He's not doing too well against the puck. There's a lot more last hits on, but as long as his Medusa's not dying, they can go stack their jungle and start escalating that way. And still no punishment coming out. Lane's just being fairly static, just trying to find that good start, testing the waters from each side, getting that safe farm up and running.
Could be the first little shot that comes out from Kaka, and JT wants to chase. Frost Shield is going to protect Baboka. Go back to the lane. Does give a bit more space though to hit Triple T to get some more farm up the bot lane climb. Losing a bit of HP. Still no less on
Radiant's middle tower is under
Nexus. Does it? Here we go. There's the hoop stuff. There's Swabber Platform. He does manage to survive his Kaka. Quick rotation out of the snap pile. They will not pursue any further of that monkey.
Yeah, that's a really quick jump from Kaka to be down there right when it's just unfolding. Let's break that combination off. They heal up high as well. Of course, that does expose that top lane, but there's not much Lich Morphling can do to punish this too hard. It's still in Legion command with a lot of innate regen.
There was a team coming out. Well, AT falling very low. They will just rotate over and find the first Chuan, the one to pick it up on the block. Very nice rotation. Realizing the supports weren't there from IG, just punishing JT immediately.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to get done here with Aster's draft. They've got to find these early kills. They've got to give a little bit more breathing room to their Morphling, who has falling behind that Legion commander in terms of last hits. This should buy some valuable time there. For first blood gold in the AoE doesn't hurt as well. Bot lane being heavily invested by IG to keep flies safe. This is going to slow down the XP timings. Perhaps that's not something IG is worried about.
It doesn't seem that way. Now, keeps one from Kaka. They really have damage output. They need GP Master Proc. Now they'll fight with the Boundless, but Fade is there on the roof with Baboga. XS just gonna salve up and be perfectly fine with all that. Just a very hard to try and jump on.
Definitely is. This lane down bot. Both sides now investing heavily to try to find something. Fly does have still hanging around, but you did have Kaka just walk down mid just a bit more. Still 3 heroes from Aster. They want to kill the Sun King.
It was not fun. The mischief wasn't their entire fly. Nice Boundless strike and Ollie again.
Oh.
The body blocks, but it's not enough yet. The Gates is there on fly and they find kill. Ollie, you get out of here. Oh, XX wants to dive. He has double-edged element. Doesn't have boost. He just goes back to set fake. Wants to stun, but double-edged there from XX. So it's going to be 3 heroes. The Sapphire. Apparently jumping around mid lane to try, I believe.
Yeah, it's a good start here coming out from Aster. They are finding these early kills as you'd want this line to do so. The one thing that's really sliding away from Aster right now is Emo. Emo is still free farming, not been punished too hard at all. And he's setting a pretty good pace for himself. Right behind the puck, but the puck does have a couple of kills early on. Still, if Emo is left unchecked, this farm will be very hard to contest.
We'll just keep going. In the positive as well, considering he's just farming the jungle, you're going to get a hell of a lot of the items dropping from the side of IG. A lot of which do change the pace of the game quite a bit, right? These are free items, you see. A lot of net worth value coming out for IG just with this Medusa continuously farm.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that 2 of them are consumables for IG, so they're not going to have anything too crazy at level 1. Nothing like a shovel coming out there, but that tree should give them some vision, and of course just a little bit more regen on Medusa doesn't hurt. Could help the farming just fine. Again, we do go back to just farming for both sides. Neither side positioning themselves quite aggressively. The runes are coming up soon, so perhaps that is the point of contention. Some fostering around the bot.
Makes sense. They move. Soups the wolf. Get it back up. The bounty is already back. They still trying for the kill. They have the rule. And we had JT. He joins in and fends it. That'll be the first dual win of the game, the first full IG of the game.
Yeah, it took a 4-man rotation to secure that one down tiering. Still worthwhile finding that kill and getting that dual damage onto GT. We set themselves up to pressure that tier 1 down bot, and Aster doesn't quite have the numbers to go for this defense just yet.
Even with Bo3 from the Rudy, it seems to be enough to force them back. That minus attack is very, very frustrating to play up against. Well, they won't really fight with T1. I mean, they don't really have to push back in this monkey LC combo, so they're gonna back off into their own jungle, keep farming up for IG. Meanwhile, Aster basically on the thing though. If you look at SCCC, he's still a little bit behind in terms of net worth, but the more time you give to the small fling, the faster he's going to be able to farm.
Radiant's top tower.
Definitely. The big question here in this kind of matchup is who's actually going to win out of farm war? Is it going to be SCCC on his Morphling, or is it going to be Emo on the Medusa? Now, the Morphling does have a bit of an earlier power spot, especially when it comes to Vital Dome.
Not lane, will they jump? They on the monkey island. Yeah, Qualifier go in trouble. For all this, Rush will come out now. The Stone Gates from Emo. They've done Fly, and the rest of Aster just gonna try and back off. In fact, Juan, he has a double damage. He'll get the dream call down. Now the Luce is in trouble. She has no way out. In fact, no. With the kisses flying out, trying to find Vega. He does get at least one. He'll be okay. He'll run out of there. It was going to be a great team fight to follow up, but Kaka does save the day.
They're still going to be happy with that trade overall. They did actually get Fly's Monkey King. They forced the rotations out from IG. They disrupt Emo from farming up, and they force him to expend the Stun Gaze. Granted, not the longest cooldown now, just going to be about 50 seconds to cool it back up. But that is time where Emo's just not farming up, and that is time where SEC is farming up. So you do see just a bit more catch-up there for Morphling, although JT is there to be disruptive.
Wait for the Mistress for yes. Going the Archer on Morph. To be fair, standard stuff. He's not going to try to action a straight off the bat. We'll actually go for the TP down bottom. May look for a play here with Morphling. What he can really do, he doesn't even have to strike right now.
Is under attack.
Idiot T1? Hey, let's take this. Not sure why the Morph bothers TP. Not like he gets a bit of farm. They'll still lose their team on top, but yeah, I need time to try and defend. But we'll show them some of the scatter blocks. And they can't stop
No.
Strike!
Oh man, SCCC, the greedy build, not paying off there. Still, that would have just been a support on the Snapbars. Not the biggest skill in the world. They still secure that tier 1 bot. It is a tower trade. Of course, the farm game is still favoring IG. 1k lead. In fact, they might find more.
It's successful. It's a stampede away from this one of his another dream called Juan. Setting up Stone Gates is already close, but it's not really finding anyone. In fact, it does. It gets caught. Very, very
man.
Battle strike to save Lifeline, trying to get out of there, and it looks like Aster Juan really wants this, and he does dive the T1 to get it. Now can he get out? But he already Lifeline there, Molly with the stun. Juan must be trading his life ways. He is there with the pull, and there's no way out of that.
A rough trade for Aster. They do manage to actually get Emo, though. I think that's definitely worthwhile, even if you trade away your puck there. But a lot of big plays coming out there. I think the one big one was Fade stealing those kisses. He does manage to get it off, and that just turned to fire. That counter initiation coming out from Aster, cleaning up there. IG gonna have to be really careful about the positioning on Kaka, because that spell is just too potent to give away, especially in Rube. Just gonna enjoy casting that from far away. He's gonna have it for next fight. It's gonna be while it expires, unless they can punish and kill Fade off the bat. Gonna have to play against the kisses.
It's really a big deal out of Aster. Fade. Again, one of those very dangerous players. Just stacking up to the side of Aster now. Emo's arm. It's actually skyrocketing because he is 500 goals ahead of Morph, which is very nice. Still though, I mean, fire a lot more, as effective as the Morph, I would argue. So, E mode, I guess, to try and speed up a bit with this farm. To be fair, though, he has been getting involved in the team.
Yeah, it's not been as much of an AFK farm fest for Emo. He has been helping out every now and again with it, doing this. And in that mid fight, of course, he did sacrifice himself there. But you are seeing the tier 2 items come out now. I believe we did see the Philosopher's Stone come out. Yeah, you had a Philosopher's Stone for the dark side, so one of these supports should be able to get some gold up. Unfortunately, no one picking that up just yet. And of course, a couple more items coming in. The big one is that what's that? The apple that you mentioned was Aldo.
Stampede, can't getting caught out. He is there, still in trouble at success. If there were the hoof stop and fade, we'll pop the kisses.
Oh god.
Why right now? He's just burning. Chicken.
Ooh,
You're right.
dangerous. It's the power of that kisses. They do steal it out and change to the Mystic Snip. So, I want to point out, Kako is actually level 9, and in that fight, XXS was still level 7, so support Snapfire actually being that much higher. They smoke up IG.
Do they find though? S-Triple-T would be great. People get that double on first. JT, so do they have the damage output? It's not quite there. S-Triple-C, he does get stunned at the last minute from Ollie and does go down.
Yeah, big punishment coming out here from IG. The one kill they really needed to take, and that is going to keep that Morphlin just a bit more in check. He is saving up for his evil now. So the more you slow this down, the longer it's going to take until he's going to be showing up in these fights. And that is an opening as IG keep going.
Yeah, but the defusal up of Lifeline Chain Frost is going to...
Oh no.
It's not a very good situation for the side of IG as Schwab jumps back in from Call as well. There's kickers flying out from Parker. Stones as well from Emo. They'll find the glitch, but they do lose 3 of their own in the process.
Oh. It looks like they still want to go. They do have the kisses on. Fade is on a bit of a cooldown, but just gonna posture out. And again, a rough fight for IG. They force it in a really tight spot. They don't manage to dodge out on that Lich ult, and it does way too much damage to IG. They're punished hard. Aster gonna be very happy. 5 to 11, 18 minutes in. They don't have the net worth lead though. That is down to the fact that Emo is pretty much ahead net worth and really just above and beyond every single heat right now. But when it comes to the control, when it comes down to that momentum in this game, Aster, it does feel like they're getting a lot more out of this map.
Lifeline, making a bit of chase on Schwan lane. Won't get there though. Very good with the blink, and in fact he has almost about enough gold for that Yules. Puck is about to one of those power spikes where you just can't kill the damn off. See, closer and closer to the ethereal blade on the morph. Very nice right now. The behind on that Medusa is by about 2k. Speaking of Emo, going for that tier 1 mid tower himself. Trying to get the time to answer his Brexby's is behind him, getting the lift off. XXS with the move stop, and now the kids are flying in with the chain cross. All that matters on the is Emo. He's in trouble, but the stone gaze allow him to run off and be safe.
That is a lot of spells going out to commit to that, and that's going to be a bit rough to counteract. They've got their own kisses up on IG's side. They did expand the gaze, but I don't think that's as pertinent as the Wukong's command and the Mortimer kisses, so they're going to have that for their tower defense.
More fire blast taken by Fake now. Looking to pick up a hurricane like it seems. In fact, I think his courier may be flying. No, that'll be fly. Let's see a big smoke from IG. They're gonna find Aster again will be probably the best that they can get. He has no idea this is happening. If they have vision, they do an outbound strike, and there's the duel. KT again, just on point, and Kako just blows him up. My God, real I guess.
I mean, that was a full Agi morph, so just 600 HP on SCCC. It's punished. Of course, he is farming up. He thinks he's safe. Not quite. And IG managed to find a nice good build. I want to point out something about Aster right now. They've got their neutral items up and running, yeah, but no one has picked up the Philosopher's Stone and the Vampire Fangs. Now, I get the Vampire Fangs perhaps, but that Philosopher's Stone would be good in Boboka. He keeps the Iron Talon instead, so... You know, just want to chop some creeps, I guess, at some point. I guess the armor's nice. You reckon mana and gold's good, though, on a lich.
Yes, it's the Vega. More common creeps. A top lane, they are going after somebody. Oh, man, Jewel coming straight on the centaur. Get burst down XXS. Still though, the monkey falling low. Fly is surely going to go down, and does as F666 comes in. JT trying to get out of there now. He almost found Chuan, but not quite as the Mystic Snake. Hey, find the kill. It's one of those Ruby cases. He just always seems to have the right spell of them.
Definitely. On point there. They do give away dual win, but again, that's 2 heroes they punish for, and 2 very big heroes, especially that Monkey King. Progression on fly has slowed down, not quite matching the pace of the opposing course, although he's not too far behind the Morphling even. Still, don't want to be bleeding gold like as Monkey King. You know, you're gonna have to give space to the Medusa no matter what. Whether you want to or not, you're not going to have as much space to farm up because you've got Medusa. It's just going to be clearing all the camps, it's going to be clearing all the waves. So you can't afford to really bleed out like this towards Aster.
Another pause coming out from RG. I fly. Maybe a bit of lag coming in. I've seen that over the past couple days. Just short spikes. It'll be too long, I'm guessing. Yes, we'll see. It's about another K for that Ethereal Blade to get that shotgun morph. Of course, with that Ethereal Blade, you should just be able to burst out Kaka every team fight, assuming you can find it. I say that. The Glimmer Cape is there, which may make it a little bit harder as it blocks so much magic damage. You do have to go ahead. Oh, never mind.
If a 12th break.
Wrong.
Nothing wrong with that. But, you know, I want to point out as well, not only do they have the 1 Glimmer Cape on Kaka, you're going to see Glimmer Cape up on Ollie relatively quickly as well. Does have the Shadow Amulet up and running, so you're going to have these saves now from IG. And looking at the neutral item equips, they actually gave Fly the Pupil's Gift instead of Emo. Emo is carrying the Vampire Fangs. I feel like you should swap it around. Like, the lifesteal is pretty strong on the Monkey King just to help himself jump back up. And the secondary stats are just way too good on the Medusa. You just really want to be tanky early on. That's one of your biggest issues. I don't think the Monkey King is in as much of a need.
I guess maybe you could make the argument because King's frontlining for JT. Maybe you could claim that.
That works. Smoke up from Aster.
Yeah. They love to find Emo. That's the main priority target. Of course, that's the main fear in later stages of the game. Emo get too big on that boost as time goes on. He is going straight into an Eye of Scarly next, so there's never been enough time to find him, but they'll find Ollie first. Fatal lift off, XXS with the follow-up start, and it's a very, very simple kill onto Ollie. Definitely not exactly what they wanted, though.
No, definitely not, and that is going to give some space to IG. Farm the opposite side of the map. TV's coming out to deep push the lanes though, but gonna be going for those outpost captures as well. And just kind of take over here for a while as Aster now trading outposts as well and just finding some farm where they can. Although their tier 2 might be under. Fortunately, the creep wave is pretty far out.
Through the tree line, getting prepped that tier 2 push.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Come
attack.
farm, but they're south right now. Chuan gonna jump forward. Fish is there in perfect timing. And now Dream Cold. They're gonna try and initiate on the side of Aster. Stampede straight onto JT. Roll up with Commander, and everyone else is just trying to run away. But the Fly as well. He gets lifted in the tree. Chuan is there with the ball off damage as Triple C. And it's going to be a double kill for the Morphling. There's a IND, Alter, trying to get a smoke gank going.
Yeah, I like this reveal coming out from Aster. That's the E-Blade reveal from SECC, and one of the more effective reveals we've seen in a while. Just managing to blow up two pretty good heroes. So he's going to be very happy with himself as he progresses. Of course, is starting to really lag behind that Medusa. That is to be expected. Emo is just kicking up the farming pace, working towards that Eye of Scotty. Not going to be too long until that tightens up. He will have to bleed some space to give Medusa time here.
He's just jumping through the trees now. Ocean, more double damage back him. He just found it as well. You just can't get any luckier than that. That's not. Still, IG are somewhat aware that this is happening. So can we make something happen? The kisses and delay it, but look at Fade. He jumps through the trees, he steals the kisses away from the Snapfire, and now we'll have it available that they do jump, trying to fight Rubik, get him out of this team fight, but he will survive. And now Emo takes over the Roshan pit. He's looking at the bonus kisses on Fade though, but here comes the Snap is now the kisses by jumps in and finds the Aegis, takes it away from IG. Still Emo gonna try to fight, but he's looking out of mana. And now Jewel from JT, Chuan almost about to drop. He will. Here comes Qualifier with the Wukong's command on XXS. Chuan is about to respawn on that puck. Can't make any plays happen. He'll find it early at the least. IG still end up winning out that team fight. They actually demolished the whole of Aster, even on the Aegis. Looks like SCCC ended up melting somewhere along the line.
Yeah, he jumped in. He didn't manage to morph out of Agi. Like, he got controlled up in there. So he was just blown up. He got the E-Blade up, so he had a moment where he was alive, but that was it. Like, it's these slightly greedy plays from SCCC. I think it is costing them just a bit. Gotta be able to teeter on the edge there with here. Nonetheless, that was a very tight spot. Of course, the Roach pit got so much going on in the background. You know, really good steal coming from Chuan at the very least. He doesn't lose his life for that, but you lost 4 heroes, basically, not counting the Aegis. You lost 4 heroes. You did take the Aegis away, so you don't have to worry about that second life on IG's side. So I suppose that is still a win.
For a blink down a bot lane, couldn't quite find Chuan in time. Chuan was already orbing away. Nice little item being picked up there from Emo. Now Titan Sliver. I'd argue is a amazing item on the Medusa to say the least. Plenty of resistance coming out for that Medusa, so even harder to kill. But as we saw in the last team fight, as long as Fade does manage to steal those Mortimer's kisses, Emo's banner just dissipates. It does not exist.
It's gonna be rough, right? Like, that is one of the easier spells for Fade to really steal, even if it's all the way at the back. He just jumps in and he can somehow get out of there. So you've got to be really cautious about how all he
Sentry got that Fade at the exact right time. The poker gonna slow him up, and SCCC gonna clean up. What time from Fade to drop the sentry on the third.
Just unfortunate for all you getting caught out like that. Gets punished hard. Still, not the biggest loss in the world for IG, right? That's Ogre Magi, bottom of left word, isn't really going to miss out on much while he's dead. Like, he's basically at this point just there for bloodlust on Monkey King, and perhaps the occasional stun. But that's as far as his utility goes for now. And Aster just going to use that time to farm up. They are slowly building up on SECC. You know, he's progressing into his Lincoln Sphere. Once that's up, you can't just jump him and duel him up. You're going to need something to break that off first. And it could catch IG by surprise the first time it's used.
Sure. Verifies as well, which is you know, an underutilized item on Morphling, right? Because generally speaking, with Max Agi, he has low HP, so those fairy fires really do a lot more than seeing being a morph. See? Illusion for him. Either, or at least Emo pushing up that top tier 2, but his whole team is smoked all around him. Emo a free tier 2 towers. I believe Aster are very aware that's just a very obvious bait on the Medusa.
Yeah, no. They just spend that time farming up elsewhere in the map. They have to sack that tier 2, but not too much lost out there anyway. It's not like Aster themselves are playing that area anymore. I think that mid tier 2 is something they'd have to bendo. Without that mid tier 2, they're not going to have easy access to the Roach Pit, and if he does choose to force that out, you're gonna have to respond in kind. They can't afford to give this one for free, but they still are pretty scattered around.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Well, they're letting it go down for now. And making their way back here.
Bottom tower is under attack.
It's gonna take free, it looks like. Nobody's there to defend.
They're trying to go for a trade down bot, I suppose. Juan was shoving it in. But that bot tier 2 is not as valuable at all.
Fate has vision of Emo.
Under attack.
You do have an observer board scouting all this, so they know exactly where ID are. Just staying away for now though, Aster not looking to initiate. Backline jumps in after the Boca. Boca will force up an S-triple-C. Ethereal shot. Blow him up. Oh. There was a BKB available on the monkey, but he did it. Now Juan going into more. He has Dream Call available. He will commit it. He actually fades him in again. Chain Boss being thrown around. The Dukes are losing a hell of a lot of mana. More kisses to fly out. Still, Emo surviving, but the gate's coming out from Boca now. Emo trying to match up a Boca. He will find the kill, but he does go down in the process as Juan was trying to find more. Couldn't quite get the Snapfire TP cancellation. A 2-4 trade, 2 cores for one support. You can't complain about that.
Now Aster's gonna be very happy with the kills they found, just managing to punish IG once more and pushing them down while they are still pretty darn strong. If IG would have the Aegis, of course that would be a different story, but they lost out earlier on. So now their mid tier 2 is gonna get shoved in, and IG without Medusa probably not gonna feel as comfy in trying to contest.
They won't. I mean, we question that allowing their tier 2 mid to go down, but obviously it pays off quite well for. Well, we'll see. Coming up next week, in fact, we already know it's going to be a satanic for the Medusa. She does feel the necessity to be able to reset herself during a team fight, which is fairly standard, I guess. I mean, her mana pool is not lasting whatsoever.
No.
Once they jump her and throw all the spells out, it's just gone.
Yeah, it's not much to speak of, and it certainly does take away from the potency of the hero when you're really squishy. She just gets focused down by every single spell on Aster. We saw that a while ago. The shotgun came out, the stun, double edge, the chain frost even coming out on the Medusa just to secure that kill, and the gaze. Just everything they could throw, they did throw out to Emo. So just that satanic should help. I'd say I'd like to see BKB for Emo. Just keep himself safe, negate the damage coming out so far from SCCC, and you're gonna be happy. Still, satanic is gonna help out, of course. It will be a while until that's up, so RIG looks to perhaps play a slow game as Aster. They have a slight lead, 1k advantage. There is smoke from IG though.
Radiant are
If they get done with this, it's gonna be on the front lines and still has this 10-second BKB charge. You'll find success for the Centaur, but you know he has back behind him. I believe this may be a little bit of a bait from Aster. They do back off. Tuan is at the bot lane split pushing right now. We're gonna keep moving forward. But they'll just get back to farming. Aster do not want to try and force a team fight yet. IG will get nothing for their smoke.
Yeah, but looks like it's Aster's turn to smoke up.
Aster can find something out of this. They know exactly where IG were, because IG did take their outpost. Run south now. Not really going west yet. There's the line being drawn out. That's the way they want to go. Still, they pull the line, it seems. No, they'll follow it. Mo is waiting for the high ground. And they fast enough. They jump in fade. He gets the lift into the hoop stop. Command the emo is okay. There. Kong's command. Fly. Wanting to find SCCC needing to get the hell out, but Fly is on the case. He has a BKB, so he's not very afraid. And they keep moving forward. JC, he'll get the jewel off. The kiss is flying in. It looks like they will get SCCC. And Aster losing 3 with no buybacks.
That is massive. That's going to open up high ground here for IG. They're not going to care too much. They're probably not aware the buybacks are off, though. Especially in that morph, but they're looking strong. They did not expend the staircase, so they're just going to go for it.
They can go for T-Force right now. If they can figure this out, JT, thought about it. Going for the secondary racks. Just playing it safe. They know they have the ultimate in the game. They won't be able to grab the third racks though, as there is still T1 and T2 at the bot lane. But they can be more than happy with this, as just a few moments ago it felt like they were behind. Now, very ahead.
Definitely are. They do manage to take over that jungle as well. This is going to secure the next Roshan, which will be up in a minute. And Ego now hits that level 25. So plus 1,000 mana, 3,000 mana on top of 2,000 HP, and IG haven't pulled out. They can keep going.
Not is there immediately onto the sector, and he's very quick as he's gone. What do we do now? Is Roshan available? Not quite. It'll be 30 seconds. Centaur will have about 10-second difference before he respawns when that Roshan comes up. Emo though, understanding it's coming up soon enough, so they're gonna stay around the pit.
A prize.
Another 10 seconds now as the courier will continue to scale out. Do have a pause, and yep, the lab call has been made.
Gonna be a rough time for Aster. They can't afford to give up that next Roche. They do lack buybacks on their own side. They've got to try to make a big play there. Specifically with Juan. They need to get him to go in with the Dream Coil. They need the Stampede to go off at the right time. Perhaps get a big hoof stomp as well. This arm Emo, he's causing a lot of issues now. He's got the MKB and Butterfly up. Opted to skip that Satanic first, and he's doing so much damage. Like, you can't even deal with a guy right now. He makes your Centaur, who's supposed to be tanky, he looks super squishy right now. In comparison to Emo, Emo just cops so much. And now he's just not dying. They spot Roche out.
You want to
After?
fight that Boca. Getting caught out a bit. Looking forward. Emo gets lifted though from Fade, but there's the Purge. Emo going to continue for Baboka. They'll go swarm him up. Will survive. Juan in a position to jump in, but they just had their Centaur respawn. So instead, IG, they're going to go for the Roshan. The whole of Aster are up for a team fight if necessary. Are they going to make it in time? Smoke now. Roshan already less than half HP. I don't think they'll have the time to jump in here. Emo. Juan, he gets in. Does he steal it? No. Emo picks it up immediately, and now they've done the team fight. X is the first target of the Centaur. Stonegate being popped immediately from the Deucer. They'll Stampede and just try to get away, but there's the JT just on point. They'll find one of their truck, and it looks like Triple C trying to go after Karka right now. Juan will jump back in. Still Karka surviving throughout all this. Gets heals up now. Kisses from Fade. He'll survive. Emo moving forward, trying to find another target. Ollie. Can he find a stun? Who have they found? The poker. He goes down. They'll go after Morphling now. He does have waveform, so he should be okay. But no. Fly jumps straight on top of his head. Balance strikes there as well. He needs the man. He wants to run away. Goes form TP. They don't have a cancellation. And so he will get out with his life intact, but it is a 2-for-1 trade. Buyback being expended by Karka. I didn't get the Aegis.
They're going to be extremely happy with that, of course. They've got the Aegis and the cheese, which will not manage to pick up either. Going to be a rough time for them. Fortunately, as we mentioned earlier on, still a tier 1 to go to, and Baboka kindly informing us of the road timings.
Thank you, Baboka.
It's good for us to know, still. Tier 1 gonna go down quest fine. 2 siege creeps, and what's up to be what? 6 range creeps. These towers are not gonna hold up for too long.
No, definitely not. Not with the double damage of Medusa. Emo. No point stopping now. Straight towards tier 3. Aegis up. Very tanky Medusa. They do use up. But Emo will be fine with that. Very hard. At least they burn the double damage. Or she'll slow things down. Another Ghost Storm coming out, and now XXS Shoot Stop is there. Emo still
no damage.
One bit of this. No, there is this fly looking to jump in. From S-Triple-C, and he throws it out there. He jumps in. They break the linkers down to the command. They don't have the damage, so he's morphing strength. Or do they? He's falling down. He does butt back immediately though, but they bounce both up on the ledge, and there's the GG call. Fade has had enough, and I just take the game away from the side of Aster in the best of 3 series.
I mean, it looked good for Aster early on, right? They were in the lead in kills. They were trying to find those lane matchup that they wanted. They were applying a good amount of pressure up until the 15-minute mark. The biggest issue they had was that they could not keep Emo in check. Sure, they killed him like once or twice, but they up until the 15-minute mark. The biggest issue they had was that they could not keep Emo in check. Sure, they killed him like once or twice, but they up until the 15-minute mark. The biggest issue they had was that they could not keep Emo in check. Sure, they killed him like once or twice, but they
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick. 10 seconds remaining.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here for game number 2 of this best of 2 series between Team Aster and Invictus Gaming. It is, of course, MLP Dota, and as you can hear, John expired. John, how are you, my good sir?
I'm doing well. Game 1 was a pretty darn good showing from IG Aster. They've got to kick it up a notch here unless they want to be playing another best of 3, which I believe is happening tomorrow, not today. So Aster gonna have to pull out all the stops to force a game out. IG, they've got the lead. They must be feeling good about themselves. That last game was pretty dominant, I want to say. Took them a while to come online, but Emo had all the space in the world to get his Medusa up and running. So let's see whether or not Aster does shake up their draft. I don't think it was necessarily a draft issue. It was really down to just giving Emo too much space. SCCC hit his timing all right, and they did go hunting early on. They just couldn't find that big target, and because of that, ID was just very hard to control into mid to late game.
They definitely were. There is going to be a shake-up in the draft, at least for Team Aster. They want to try something a little bit different. If I may comment as well on that previous draft, John, we keep seeing this Morphling pick coming out. It must have a sub 50% win rate in these close qualifiers at this point, right? Like, it must be quite low, because every time we cast it, it seems to lose majority of the time.
Yeah, it's been a rough showing for that. It's just, there is a certain element that it does bring for your team, of course. A lot of people are just kind of used to playing it, so it's not too unusual for it to come out. Still, draft has continued on to shake her Legion Commander out there for Aster. And it's their turn to get that Legion Commander spin now. They want to try to escalate through there, but IG, they take the Morphling for themselves. They want to show SCTC how that hero's played, it looks like.
I can't say I like it, John. I just talked about the quality of Morphlings. I mean, it's not the players. I just feel like the hero itself isn't fitting the meta. It's just taking too long to come online, and by the time it does, even with the Ethereal Blade, it doesn't really feel like it's paying off. Nevertheless, IG feel confident enough to run it, so we'll see how they do perform. Of course, it is up against the Earthshaker this time.
Yeah, so
you have that automatic combination with the Axe.
Yeah, like not even. I don't think you even need the Ags when it's an enemy shaker. You could probably just morph into him straight away. Although if you wanted the Ags upgraded enchant, of course you're gonna have to invest that yourself. Still, excuse me. You know, sometimes when water goes in the wrong pipe, like it tends to hurt that throat, and you know my body's dumb enough that it tries to go in the windpipe. Still, morphling against shaker. It does take some farming up to get the Ags up if you really want the enchant. I think you get a lot of value from just getting a free ride to be that Earthshaker. Still, I think the biggest issue here for that Morphling is going to be that Legion Commander. We saw in the last game from IG. JT just getting the jump SCCC every single time, keeping him in place. And the rest of this team having enough damage to counteract that Morphling. This is something IG will have to be very cautious about, as they did pick it into the LC this time. So they should know what Aster wants to do with that Legion Commander. They know that the primary target will always be that morph. Are we going to be seeing any sort of support to mitigate that from happening? We could possibly see something like the Oracle come out with a Lich, just to give this Morphling a bit of an easier time there. That is an option for IG if they so opted to. Aster immediately into that Vengeful Spirit. So they've got a game plan in mind. That's a hero we haven't seen too often coming out here in the qualifiers, and I feel like it's still a very strong hero in the right lineup. This one is not quite feeling like that just yet. You don't have anything that can really maximize the aura from the Venge just yet. Although the minus armor is really good for the Legion Commander. And of course the follow-up stun onto Morph after the duel is darn good. You can save people out as well. So that they've got that going for themselves on Aster. A lot of potency there, a lot of ways to set up into this duel. IG Are they gonna invest in something to save their Morphling? Are they gonna go with something like the Oracle here?
I wonder. They have the option if they wanted to. It doesn't really fit the lineup though. Like, you've already got this very squishy POS 5 glitch. Generally speaking, don't want to have a POS 4 Oracle going as well. It just feels like a very passive lineup if they did go down that route. They'll go for the Puck for now, and as we know, it's a very versatile hero. It can be played as a core or as a support. Nice little pickup there from IG. Also, as you know, I mean, the Dream Call into a team fight, it's just too damn good, and the silence on heroes like the Earthshaker, John, just essentially deletes the hero.
Yeah, it's a great pick here from IG. I think it works quite well with what they have on hand, especially that Lich, right? You force people to stay clumped up or break and stun themselves, or caught stun. Still, what is this mirror matchup? Aster picking up the Medusa for themselves this time around. That's something that builds off of the Venge, and we know what the hero can do. We saw Emo play it quite well last time. Now, Aster wants to show IG how to run this lineup with the Legion Commander Medusa.
Not sure if that's necessary, as IG did win the first game, but perhaps they're taking notes out of the IG book, and you know what? Maybe it would work if we ran that. IG, though, considering they just ran that lineup, should know exactly how to counter. And, well, there's the Nyx Assassin, right? It used to be a direct counter towards heroes like Medusa. It still kind of is. It just isn't as popular these days. But it can still be a very, very devastating hero in the right hands.
It definitely can be. Still one of my favorite heroes. Of course, it's just been kind of out of meta for a long time, but I remember, in just a bit of a segue, I remember one of the first times when I actually started trying to play Dota properly, and one of the streams I watched was like PPD, and he was saying Nyx support. In my mindset that time, like years ago, we're talking a long time ago, my mindset then was, you know, like the Dota 1 gameplay of Nyx, which is he's a core assassin. You know, you build Dagon, play mid Nyx, and that's the first time I'm as a support, and you know, it does work quite well. I like it in this context for IG. You have a lot of spells to really counteract. I think just managing to cancel out the fissure if you're on point is big enough. With your Spike Carapace, of course, the vision that Nyx Assassin will give is the big one. You can keep track of the Medusa. It's going to take a lot of resources from Aster to track that Nyx Assassin. You're going to have to drop a lot of sentries to make sure that the Nyx is not going to find the Medusa, and that's always going to be a constant worry. Nyx can take care of that hero quite well.
Again, just a quick PSA, John, just based off the story you just told. If you are a Nyx Assassin player, don't, for the love of God, you have to play core Nyx, and if you are going to play core Nyx, don't rush Dagon. Medial Hammer is infinitely better. No, John, I've had enough of these damn Nyx players. They buy Dagon and they do nothing in this game, and I'm so sick of it. Buy a Meteor Hammer. You can have like 7 seconds worth of stun. Just buy the Meteor Hammer.
It was the Dota 1 days, dude. You remember when you play in Arena? You'd go in, you'd call the host a noob, you tell him tunnel, and if he doesn't do it, he's a freaking noob. You insult the host the entire time you play, you pick picks, you go down mid, you rush your Dagon, you lose the game, and you insult the host once more. Those were good times. Those were good times, Dota 1. I miss it. I miss Garena.
10 seconds remaining.
That was insane.
Because I could never connect to Green.
5 seconds remaining.
I definitely don't miss that. Shout out to Board Aussies though. Anyone that was in the Board Aussie server back in Dota 1. Those were the good old days to me. Still though, IG, one more ban out to come before we get to see how these drafts finish off. The Razor was the final ban from Aster. Naturally, you don't want to have to go up against Razor as an LC. And even Medusa doesn't really enjoy that too much. IG, one more ban.
Dire team pick.
DK, John, is it
Radiant team
an
pick.
Emo Evoker game this time against Medusa? No, it's gonna be the Conker.
I want the Invoker, but Kong comes out. I feel like that's the smarter hero to pick up here. Excuse me, for IG. It just gives them a lot more liquid, of course. It does make them tankier, does make them harder to deal with, gives them team fight, which Shoreline does kind of lack. Like, it's not like a Shaker coming out here or Medusa with a Stone Gaze. You've got that Punka now to make it all worthwhile. Of course, you can stop the swaps. Just have an X mark, and the swap's not going to do anything to that target. You've got a way of counteracting that advantage as well. And the timing on that here is pretty darn good. You can zone out Medusa if the Medusa is not careful with that spacing. Emo that can just consistently get that done, so I wouldn't be too surprised with this performance there, but sure close it out with the Monkey King. Yeah, it's a solid set so far. Aster, it feels kind of awkward when the drafts are just, it feels like we've done this before, you know, like when you go with this kind of draft mimicking the course, we've definitely done this before. The only difference is supports. We'll see if Aster can get the job done here, as we are looking at a mid lane Monkey to face off against Emo's Kunkka, and SCCC will be playing the Medusa.
Unlike that last game, these three cores, the counters are there. I mean, Nyx Assassin against Medusa, Kunkka is there for the Legion Commander duel. Just throw the boat in and suddenly the LC does no damage.
5 seconds remaining.
I don't know how I feel about it fast. I've got to say IG's draft, although it is a bit how's it going, it's a bit arguably out of meta, I got to say it does incite a little more confidence in me. Still, perhaps Fade with the Earthshaker could show us some special plays. I'm sure he will, in fact. Game number 2, though, about to begin. Team Aster playing all their lives in this series, essentially. They need to win this game to try and force it to a game number 3. IG would love to go for a 2-0 victory and get straight to the major if they could. We're going to find out if they could. In about 5 to 10 seconds, game starts. After the draft screen is done.
Yeah, overall,
it just keeps going.
Nah, it always does, you know, when the drafts are straightforward. Just wants to linger just a bit longer. Still, overall, I will have to favor IG's draft. You mentioned counters are there from IG. In fact, even at Kunkka, Monkey King into Kunkka, Juan's not going to have as free of a time running around. You can just mark him when he tries to run away. You can scout him out with a torrent and freeze. Oh, excuse me, my body's just not respecting my demands at all. But, okay. Kunkka up against that Monkey King. Of course, a laning phase. Monkey Kings can still play around at, but you Tidebringer, and that is mostly enough to keep that hero in check. Again, the torrent for scouting out as the game goes on is probably the big thing, right? Like, you want to make sure the monkey's not going to be able to jump around trees, and you've got a pretty darn good way to scout around. It's nothing as potent as the Venge wave, though, but it still does get the job done. You've got the puck to scout out as well. So overall, I think IG is definitely much more geared out to deal with Aster repeating IG's draft this time.
Gonna show up in the Dire jungle. Steal an outpost as per usual. X success. He'll be the one to take it. IG. Probably the exact same thing. Keep setting up for those two bounty runes. It looks like there'll be really no contention here between the two teams, as SCCC is definitely not going to try as a Medusa level 1. Interesting to note though, they put the Medusa down the bot lane. I guess it's fair enough. Like, Chuan on the monkey, pretty darn good in that mid lane up against the Medusa.
Yeah, they are just going that route. I think monkey downstage, Medusa down mid. Just not going to happen in this case. It is a rough for Medusa to face off against that Kunkka. It's much easier for you to spam out that early Tidebringer. Of course, you are seeing Fade go to creep box. Top lane going to be a bit easier for Aster to deal with, as do see some good block coming out from Fly. Like, he's keeping his creeps in check. Still not be as good as full block from Fade. It does look like an early trial lane up top. And try to find that first blood first.
They will. Of course, Firefly going to be very low on HP thanks to that Agimorph. Man, Firefly is blocking like a god right now. Keep going, Fly. You can do it. Fade still at his tier 1. In fact, it's XXS taking over. This is going to be a very, very nice lane start for the side of Aster, as they will have creep equilibrium. And yet they'll go for the first blood now. Fade moving in, they see Ollie. Ollie is definitely the easiest kill, and he does get blocked up. The Burger with the follow-up stun. Do they have the damage? They certainly will. Ollie is surrounded, and Fade will be the one to pick up the first blood. Will immediately TP down to that bot lane.
it's a good start here for Aster, just managing to give themselves a nice injection that is going to make our Lich just a bit more cautious, as he is have to keep back in to help his Morphling. Still, Fly is too bad. Like, he is shoved out just for now, but he has a pretty big wave coming in, 2 ranged creeps to farm for himself as well. Overall, just a bit of a back and forth there.
Wonder if they're going to be able to shut down SCCC at this bot lane. It's a bit hard to as the Doocer. Like, you are squishy at the start, but he does have a very early point in mana shield, as expected, and Kaka and JT. See how aggressive they get down this bot lane, but I imagine he should have a decent enough time farming up, although mid lane I can't say the same for Emo, as he does get Bishop blocked up by Fade, and the body blocks will allow the Jingu Mastery proc, though that tree actually saving Emo. Fade will pick up the kill. Chuan having a few difficulties around this one big tree here, but he does find the kill in the end. JT though, bot lane falling very low, and does go down to SCCC. Very aggressive play coming out from the side of Aster.
Yeah, Aster's early movements really starting to pay off here. This is the complete opposite of game 1 with what IG did in their early game. So Aster is maximizing this kind of trap, and they do trap up Ollie once more.
Doesn't get quite the perfect block. He will allow Ollie to get out, but Fade is just all across the map, trying to set up as many kills as he possibly can and see where the next one's going to be. Looks like he's setting up for mid. Get Emo again. He just respawned and TP back to the T1. Chuan has healed up, so yeah, he's going into position. Bishop will be there, and it's perfect Emo. Exactly the same way. He's going to have to run to that tree line. TPs are coming in. Chuan, he has Battle Strike and does commit Emo. So darn low. Fade, can he find the kill? Chad Totem was not enough, but one more would do it, though no. The sound will come out, and Fade should pay for it this time. Emo gives him the tip as he walks off.
Oh man. Oh man, that was close for Evo though. Admittedly, you know, that wasn't a sure thing for him. Still, they managed to punish that rotation. It did 2 supports coming in there, so that does mean the side lanes are going to struggle just a bit more. But as long as they keep this aggression in check, I think Emo's really the hero to watch out for. These side lanes don't require too much for him, except for the Morphling, but Emo is their tempo setter, so they need to give him the space he needs, give him the mid-game items he needs, and then he can start repaying that investment.
He's going very well for Aster, apart from that one mid ES kill, but Aster has had another very successful start in game number 2. Everything going okay. They haven't really been able to slow down Fly though on the Morphling, to be fair. He's 21 last hits, 8 denies. Top of the last hits board. And is essentially free farming now, as the Legion Commander on its own can't really do much to shut him down. So it looks like they're okay to allow this Morphling to farm as long as their Medusa's farming. But as I say that, SCCC is only on 13-9. So he has been denied quite a bit here from JT on the puck.
Down mid though.
Oh, again, Bishop from Fade. He's going to block the way so Emo can't run up the hill. He wants revenge for that tip. There is an X there on Chuan. Emo just holding on with the Frost Shield. Fade. The Boundless Strike doesn't quite reach, and Fade, is he going to pay for it? Emo will allow him to live. He had Torrent, but he does not throw it out. He just wanted to survive and get back to that mid lane.
These rotations down mid aren't paying off anymore. Like, the rotations from IG are coming out. They're trying to save Emo, and they do every single time. Just having one more hero there does stop that move. And Matt, they're going to try to go for it themselves. Chuan, gotta be a bit careful.
Sure, again for Fade though. He's always in the right position. And Boundless Strike comes in. Torrent will be there from Emo. It looks like they'll back out. Aster won't mind that. So just wasting 2 of the support's time. As now it looks like Mocha going to make his way down bot to go after JT. JT does have the orb available, so he will be able to just jaunt out of there successfully. And everything will go back to being peaceful for now.
Yeah, it's still a bit topsy-turvy here. I actually can be happy with a slightly low bot lane.
Kaka goes for a very early spike Carabas, but Fade once again just in the right position. And well, Mystic Snake will be able to clean up the kill for SCCC. That'll make it a 4-1 now. Slight net worth lead for Aster on the Radeon side. SCCC certainly looking to catch up as fast as possible on this Medusa.
As long as he gets that farm, as long as he gets the space in the jungle, if things go bad, the Medusa can just overtake the game. Given enough time. IG's not going to make that easy. Of course, JT has been trying to apply as much pressure as he can. He has been, for the most part, alone to all the rotations down mid, but you can still see it in the last hits. SCDC was behind for a bit. Now he's given enough space to back up there. 29-14. Not as clean as the Morphling, but certainly up there. Last hits.
Lane, Fade, gonna rotate with Baboka. They do spot out Ollie on the ledge. Emo is the real target they wanted. They'll start with the Boundless Strike, but now Kaka comes in. Nice Bishop, but the boat does land on Chuan. Followed up by the stun from Kaka, and Chuan has nowhere to go. Torrent, enough. Kaka claims the kill on the Nyx Assassin. So these mid attempts now not really paying off for Aster any longer. Yet they still continue to make their way there every single time.
Understand the importance of the tempo that Emo provides to the team. I think that's the main reason they're trying to shut him down. They don't need the Monkey King to get these kills at all. Like, he's just trading just fine. In fact, he should be a bit ahead. It's just all these rotations have basically given Emo a good enough time that he's actually farming better than Monkey King. You'd expect Monkey King to have a bit more presence there with his right-click reach and the limitations of Tidebringer, but it's just not happening. And down bot, you do see the support's clumping up. They want to make a move, but that's a level 6 Medusa now. No ultimate up. Still going to be fairly tanky for what she is at this point in the game.
Certainly. Looks like both teams are starting to secure those neutral items. And Emo is farming up the jungle while he can. So mid lane is being a bit pushed in though, so nobody really there to clean up that creep wave. Kaka, he'll be there to soak some XP. That Morphin in terms of farm. In fact, they've got DLC now. Nice rotation from JT with the Dream Call. They'll find XXS. But what I was about to say is Fly. He is farming way too well right now. Almost 4k net worth at the 8.5 minute mark. And if you keep this up on Fly, he's just going to get way too far ahead.
Yeah, it does look like he's prioritizing perhaps the Lincolns first. Although he could always just leave it at the Ring of Health and still go for the shotgun build. We have seen a couple of players do that. Still, it's been a free farm lane up top. You've seen all the action down bot and mid. But this time around, Aster is ignoring Fly in his farm. Like last time they were ignoring Emo's Medusa. And now they ignore the Morphling. And that could cause serious issues as he is going to be big. He's got all these items flying out now. He's still free on this top lane. XXF has no one to help him with duel. Although he does have someone now.
They're going to make the play. They are not. Primal Spring will be to the neutrals. Chuan. They maybe could have gone for that. He was quite low in HP, Fly at the time. Now Fly will know that Chuan's there, so there's basically no chance of that happening. Fly just keep farming up. He does not feel intimidated at all by this, by the presence of the MK. Even Chuan not feeling it. He just goes back to the jungle and starts farming up as well. Looks like both teams will remain a little bit passive at this 10-minute mark. Just try to get a few more items up before they start making some aggressive plays. I say that, bot lane, Baboka, he will get caught out. Dream Call's there from JT. There should be a very nice, easy support kill, though I say that. Chuan is coming in. He'll find the trade. Puck. Where's he gone? That way. Oh, JT does get caught. Looks like he will get caught out. He tried to TP. They knew where he was going, and they will just find the kill.
Yeah, it's a better trade overall for Aster. They do find 2 years for the trouble. They managed to punish that puck, and they only lose the supports. It's really not a big deal at all for Aster. Of course, they have to commit with the rotations that will again free up that top lane. Fly, not under any threat. He knows that there was movement down bot. So he just gets to farm up, again facing off against XXS Legion Commander, who is now 3 levels behind this free farm morph. Level 6 LC up against a level 9 morphling. Quite the discrepancy there for XXS.
Very concerned on the side of Aster. Fly. Looks like he may just go straight into that Linken's. He is queuing up that ultimate orb now. So maybe just feeling like with the Linken's, he could just play so much safer. More risky, I should say, knowing that they can't duel him up immediately. It's already been hard enough for Aster to find the jump on this morph. They are starting to rotate though. Chuan again going to be there. This time the focus is going to join. But there is help on the side of IG. They're just on the side now. Do get scanned out. IG, they do start backing off anyway. And Aster, I'm not really sure if they even try for this play anymore. It looks like they will not.
Yeah, and both sides will just, again, go back to farming up. The big thing here is that Kaka has managed to hit his level 6, does have the tome up on him as well. So this is the moment when you see the Knicks really start to go around the map, trying to ensure that the resources from Aster are being expended. You always have to make that presence felt, and at some point he's just going to leave this mid lane and get those rotations done, which can get done quite easily. You've got highly mobile heroes that can follow your pace. So Kaka should have his work cut out for him.
One on SCC. Not JT again gonna back out. Looks like Fade has just been on security duty for SCCC, just making sure nobody gets near him. SCCC does have the Mask of Madness. In fact, there's an Invictus assassin coming in. Kaka, Spy Carapace will not stun anyone. Now Chuan to make some sort of play. Another strike comes out. There's the Frost Shield. Dream Core holding them all in. Still Wukong's command and Emo being swooped in as well. He doesn't want to be here right now. The boat flies in with the Chain Frost bouncing around and the Torrent. They're just being held back, Aster. They won't actually find anything and they'll lose their vengeful spirit.
At the very least, Aster doesn't lose a very big hero there. Still, they expend a lot of ultimates to both sides, really expending a lot of ultimates there. It's going to be a bit more painful to lose out on that Stone Gaze and Wukong's command. Wukong's in particular, not a short cooldown, so Chuan going to have to resolve to just farm that jungle for now. And yeah, at the very least, they'll lose Avenge. Not the biggest deal. IG, of course, wanted a bit more. They go under ward, although Ollie.
They have found Ollie, nice little block, but this is just two supports of Aster. They don't really have the damage output. Okay, he looking to move in now. He orbs. Fade, will TP, should be successful. There was no Dream Call anyway. But Flyfly has joined in now, so they're going to go for that T1 bot push. Flyfly also found the top T1 tower. So this Morphling has been fairly active across the map in terms of objectives, and he almost has the Linken's. He just needs about 500 more gold. It's a fairly quick Linken's coming out on Fly.
Definitely will be. It's going to be hard to play against. In fact, they've gotten a Fade.
Torrent will connect with the extra Emo, and that's a very easy pickup. Aster not willing to fight, but are they really going to allow this mid T1 to go down for the side of IG?
Great that tier 1 up top for themselves, Aster. IG just gonna pull back, not gonna go for that. Although there are still some very far forward movements here. Do see Kaka playing that enemy jungle, saving up for a Yules. That should help him out in setting up for his team. Gonna have a pretty good time on that. Tier 2 items as well coming out here from the neutral camps. A lot more going towards IG, and a couple going to Aster. Of course, that's gonna really help the cause. Some nice tank items going the way of Aster. They've got the Shawl for magic resistance, the Dragon Scale for HP, and armor. That's just going to help a lot towards these tankier heroes. The Monkey King and the Medusa both need to kind of tank up. You just want to be able to stand there and fight. That's going to help them do that a lot more.
Facing Ollie, they do find a nice, easy support pickup. Ollie, frost shielding. He's surrounded by 5 heroes though, and they'll duel him up. Emo finds that very funny. Aster just completely surrounding him. Now they go for more. They do find Fly on the morph, because you don't have that jewel available. You really have no chance of catching Fly. But he just gets back to farming now.
Yeah, it's still a bit of a scary spot. That was a lot of heroes to secure that one kill on the ledge. Aster would have liked a lot more to get there, but unfortunately, not finding anyone to punish, are just going to be forced to play around it. Because leave the top lane to be free for JT to farm, and he's saving for his blink there. Once that's up and running, that should allow IG a way to take these fights. It's going to allow them to have this really slippery path, just ruining that back line, and that's a major issue right now for IG. They have no way of reaching into that back line just yet.
Inbound strike is there from Twan. Wukong's command straight off the bat, but the boat has found out Twan. He's falling very, very low. Torrent, they'll just burst him down with the chain cross, but now it's Triple C wanting to fight with the stone gaze. They won't find anyone. Fly is morphed into the LC, but a nice fish of fade holding him down. Fly will walk away. Now they're free to call in the back fights too. They come back in. Still has Triple C doing a lot of damage. They'll find the ledge, but Fly first on XXS. Now the mana is not there for the Doosan. Triple C has been left with Fade, who dumps in with the echo. Is it enough though? It is not. They're all going to be lost. As it's a 5-for-1 trade for IG, and it just looked too darn easy.
Definitely did. IG just turning that fight on its head. It looked really bad. They got to jump in Aster. They had the initiation with their Monkey King. The matchups just don't work. Oh, it's Kunkka. Even if you jump in like that, he's gonna torrent up, he's gonna X, he's gonna drop the ghost ship on top. Your burst damage is not there, and he's gonna live through that fight. Your Medusa is not tanky enough just yet to take these fights head on as well. All she has is that Dragon Lance and Yasha. And that does not make Medusa a major hero just yet. She's at 9k gold, 1k behind Morphling. You can see Fly, even with just that Lincoln Sphere, it's enough for him to just stand there and fight. He morphs around, he drops some spells from the Legion Commander, right-clicks as Morphling, and he's perfectly fine. He's working his way towards that E-Blade as well. Progression is going steady. Having a pretty good time, I'd say maybe about the 20-minute mark. And once that's up, he can just burst the backline as well. So you're going to lose out on your supports. Oh,
getting lucky as well.
Chuan?
Top lane. Some up Kanka. Mid lane though, there's a fight breaking up. Green-man Dream Call into the chain cross, and now the boat just burst in paid XXS and the Boca going down. And he, with the old chat once again, really giving it to him. I've got to tell you, John, even being very lucky as well, he found an Implore, so he has a guaranteed crit with Tidebringer every single time.
That's just such a good item to have on the Kunkka. Look at that, 426 on the Illusion. That's gonna be painful. Yeah, it's gonna be painful in the real hero, of course. And you've got to play really cautiously as Aster now. You're losing out on map control. Your ward coverage is now kind of lacking. Like, this is the kind of ward coverage Kaka's Nyx can exploit. Not as many sentries as you'd expect earlier on. Of course, there's only so many sentries you can plant down nowadays. So this means it's going to be hard for SCCC to play farm. And they are going to smoke up though. Aster want to punch somehow. No vision on the opposite side of the map, so this is a blind smoke.
They have the Echo and Blink on Fade though. They want to start using though. IG have also smoked up, ready to go, knowing exactly where Aster are. Vendetta. Emo's smoke gonna break. They're gonna run in. Boundless Trap is there straight on the Nyx. But Turret does auto level on the LT, but there's a swap coming out from the Vent Boko. Trying to save his teammates, but another nice Dream Call and Wukong's command. The even though connects onto 2. Emo, he'll burst out XXS. It's already a 2-for-0 trade. And Aster has to get out. They've got no chance in this now, but Fly, he wants more. They find SCCC in, has the X available. SCCC pops the Stone Gaze. They got the X off. That's all they need. They'll just wait out that duration of the Stone Gaze, and actually the X a little bit slowly. Force out the button from the vent anyway.
It's a big win for IG. They would have liked to get a little bit more, But, you know, they went out in that fight. We see it again and again. Aster, they had the vision advantage. They had control in the area. They had the high ground. And unlike Obi-Wan, it doesn't work out for them. Anakin actually gets skill at IG, turning these fights on the head. Every time Emo can get that bow torn off, their combination just ruined. I think the biggest issue is that Fade cannot get in to get the Echo Slam while the Wukong's command is up and running. If they can't do that, they don't have the burst. If they don't have the burst, Emo is alive and he's going to keep his entire team alive. And that is just going to cause these fights to be much harder than they should be for Aster.
It just came an easy Q2 on the own from the Morph. Has the Eagle song available? But a butterfly coming out? No, it's the Ethereal Blade. Things get even more concerning. He's farmed very well on the Dukes, but he still finds himself behind this Morphless Karka now. Gonna run in, find cameras, but Boga gonna try to stun. Emo is there, they're just chasing crates on that Dusar. But just being around, he will allow Triple C to walk away. Karka gives him the tip.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It's support life for you, you just gotta save your position one and
That's the only way Aster can really play that one. I don't blame Boboka, of course. Unfortunate that he's got to have that short end of the stick, but that is, as you mentioned, support life. This will allow RG to go straight into that Roche. Like, shoving that Medusa away means the entire team is just going to be playing on that bot lane. So if free Roche going to play with IG, that just makes matters worse.
Okay, just in the way of IG now. Fly looking very, very scary at 14.5k net worth. Look at that win probability and not looking good for Aster. 81% going to the way of IG, which I'd say is fairly realistic at this point. This could have a nice chance back in the game. Medusa is a very hard late game kind of carry, but you've got to get there. Emo, he finds an X on SCCC, throws out a torrent, gives him the creep with the Tidebringer, and takes down half his mana. IG will claim tier 2, and they'll happily get out of there.
It's going to be a while until SCCC is going to be a really tanky hero to deal with. I think the key point is going to be level 25, of course, when you get that 1000 mana. And that is a long way off. Oh no.
Lane jumping in. It looks like Qualifier finds the Boga. They'll get the kill. Bo Yules is going to be there on the Duke. So SCCC doesn't have any mana available if they can find it. Torrent will connect, but they are going to dive the tier 3s. It'll be enough. Another support kill going the way of IG. Really, I mean, there's only one outer tower left standing here for Aster, and that's at the top lane. Definitely not the most valuable tower in the world for Aster, but IG will take it nonetheless, I'm sure.
They've got to probably clear that out first, is giving a bit of an access point for Aster outside the base. If they can secure that tier 2, they've got some good wards up top anyway. And that should allow them to start knocking these tier 3s, especially while they have Aegis. They should get this done while that's up, but looks like they're waiting for perhaps the Ags on the combat, as they do group up top.
Fade is there in the tree line. Karka, can he find? There is a sentry ward, and so Fade will have the upper hand.
Dire are scanning.
Fade pings him out. Chuan is waiting on the tree line as well, but nobody's really falling for this. They'd love Fly, but he's not going towards the creep wave. Now JT scouting out with the orb. Chuan will immediately go into a tree form. That's not generally how trees grow. JT, does he notice? He does not. They're still there. Fade, he's waiting.
For the dead.
Be Echo on the puck. Oh, they get check Fade. He gets poured out. Chuan runs for his life. He knows he can't do anything.
That was a lot of time spent there just trying to do something, and it doesn't come out to much. And we're at the point where XXF found out Legion Commander is actually behind Baka in terms of levels. Like, the core Legion Commander is behind a support Nyx for EXP progression. That's not great.
Lane Chuan And Dreamcall to start. Fly is there to help out. Juan does jump in the tree line. Dreamcall will not lead to anything yet, but the rest of the cavalry are here. Kaka trying to find the target, but Boka, the poor man, just standing on the front lines, understanding he needs to die here. Go comes out from Fade, but it's not really much damage. The boat was already there. Fade trying to remain alive. A lot of damage coming up from SCCC, but a massive torrent storm coming out from Emo. Now the fish are stolen by Fly. They go straight after Juan. Burst him down. SCCC is sitting dark. He has no mana left. They'll heal him up, but he goes down. It's a triple, and there's the GG. Fade set it up, and it will be IG going to the LA Major as I believe the first team. And what a way to finish. Fly with an ultra kill on that Mortal.
Yeah, great win by IG, dominant over the series, 2-0 on Aster, 9-24, 26 minutes in. That's Aster trying to run IG's draft against them. Doesn't pay off. IG, they get to go all the way to LA as we